So I am from Maine, and I grew up in a small town called Skowhegan, and I graduated from high school in 2005. And at that point, there was no pharmacy programs in the state of Maine, and Rhode Island has the reciprocity agreement with the other New England states, so that was a big reason. I mean, college is expensive, and when you can get a reasonable tuition rate, it really makes it a reachable thing, and it allowed me to go to school and pay for school as I went. So that's kind of how I ended up at Rhode Island. And you know, I visited a couple of other colleges, obviously, and I grew up pretty rural, in a rural place, so it didn't bother me that URI is kind of rural, and so.
Yeah. So where do you currently work? What's your current title?
So I am the owner, pharmacist, pick, all of the above, at a small pharmacy called Western Maine Pharmacy in Kingfield, Maine. We are just outside of a large ski area, and we're the only pharmacy. The next closest one is about 25 miles away. So when I moved into the area, there was no pharmacy here, and there hadn't been for over 50 years. And so we did an analysis to see if the population was there to support it. And if you looked at it compared to like your average pharmacy, the numbers didn't work. So we had to look at how we could make it financially stable. And so we did that by making it have limited hours. So we're only open 45 hours a week. So we only have to pay a pharmacist 45 hours a week. And we went really small. Our current footprint is 850 square feet, the whole pharmacy, including the pharmacy and the front store and everything. So,
wow, that's great. I work at an independent pharmacy too, so I can appreciate how difficult it is to start from scratch, basically. And I started working there when they were a year in. And I've just seen how much they've grown over time, and they're in Wakefield, so it's a little bit, it's pretty busy in Wakefield, busy population. They get a lot of patients from, CVS down the road, a lot of people that are interested in just supporting an independent. So I think that's great to hear that a URI alumni started their own pharmacy.
Yeah, it was, so I don't know if they told you anything about the timeline, but I graduated in May of 2011, and my husband and I got married in October of 2011, and the pharmacy opened on the 10th of November of the same year.
That was a busy year then.
Yeah. And we did work a little bit for another independent that's about an hour away from here in the summer to kind of get my just get some experience under my belt as a pharmacist, and then we just jumped in. So.
Wow, that's awesome. What was the most challenging part of opening your pharmacy and getting it going and getting people, to hear about it and want to come in?
Yeah, so luckily it's a really small town, and the community has been really supportive. So it still takes people a really long time to change their prescriptions over. They think like it's this big commitment to switch their prescriptions. As a pharmacist or a pharmacy student, you probably know that it's not really that big of a deal. But people see it as a huge obstacle. So most of our, especially the first year, they would come for one prescription because they weren't feeling well, and then they're like, "Oh, can I get my other prescriptions filled here?" And we're like, "Yeah, that's what we do here. We fill prescriptions." So it was, it's really about educating people on how easy it is to switch. I mean, a lot of people were just like, "Oh, great, you're here. Let me do that." But it definitely takes people time, and we continue to to this day get a transfer of someone's profile, and it's 15 medications, and they're going, and it's 30 miles each way to this next pharmacy, and it's just wow, how much gas money have you spent driving back and forth, and or just educating people about that their insurance is going to be the same price at any pharmacy. So they think because it's an independent that it's going to be more expensive, and it's usually not any different in price.
Right. Yeah, we definitely run into that issue a lot, or we used to with where I worked, just because, people don't, I guess they don't understand that, when you go to an independent, you're not paying more. It's just your insurance that makes this price, and you pay it, and you're having a better experience because you're at an independent. So
Yeah. So, and then, when I first opened, people were like, oh, I can never use a pharmacy that's not open on Saturday and Sunday. And, well, they figured it out, So that was a big adjustment for the town, people that are, like, used to getting their stuff done on the weekend. So we're open one night till 7 for people that work during the week. And that's worked out really well for us.
Good. So how has URI prepared you for this role?
Well, we had a student chapter of NCPA that we started when I was at school, and I participated in the business plan competition. And at that point, it was not a theoretical business plan. I made my actual business plan for my actual business, and then had it reviewed by faculty, and then got it submitted to the national NCPA. So that was a huge help. And they all said, well, you can't have a pharmacy with that population. And I said, well, watch me.
Good for you. That's awesome.
So, and this year we're currently building a new building because we have outgrown this one. And so that's really exciting. I think the community is very excited that we're building, because they kind of see it as like, if we're building a building, you must really be here to stay. So they've been really supportive. So it's been great.
Yeah, we're actually going through the same thing right now. We're building a new building two doors down the road. It's still on Main Street, but it's just a bigger building. We've just completely outgrown the space that we're in right now, and it's just they're gonna. So we have a soda fountain at ours. That's kind of like the old-fashioned feel, and they're gonna expand, what we have at the soda fountain and stuff. So I think that's gonna draw a lot more people in, and it's just, it's going to be great. I'm excited for it. The next couple of months, I think, is supposed to open up the new place.
Yeah, we're going to have double the square footage that we have now, and then like a whole basement for storage. So it's going to be amazing.
That's awesome. And that's funny you said that about the business plan, because another pharmacist that I talked to, who also, he kind of inherited his family business. He also did the business plan competition, and that was how he planned his business out. So definitely helpful to have NCPA.
Yeah, I think that student chapter is just awesome. And I also got connected with people because when you're in the NCPA student chapter, you get to go to the real conference, and you get to meet real pharmacists who are doing this, a good friend of mine, Jack Loveland, who I still am in contact with today. He used to own 10 pharmacies in Connecticut, and I can call him up, and I met him when I was a P2, P3 student at these conferences, and it's contacts that you make like that you learn the most from, because they've been in it.
Yeah, definitely. So moving forward, how do you see the profession evolving, and how will you adapt your business to, how pharmacy evolves in the future?
Yeah, I think that going forward, I think you're going to see, I'm sure everyone's talking about this, but more like pay for performance type of models. And, like we currently have a sync program that we've developed and is growing. I think we have 250 or 300 people in it at this point. I'd have to ask my sync tech what the actual number is right now, but last time we had a meeting about it was about 250, and we're adding people every day. So, and that's, that sort of like high touch, very patient-oriented stuff is definitely going to be the future of pharmacy for sure. And so we have been developing that sync program, and then currently we just got certified with the state of Maine to do COVID vaccines. So as soon as they have vaccine, we're going to be doing that out of the pharmacy. So that's a great way to serve this community. The next closest place is doing COVID vaccines is, 30 miles away. And some of these people either A, can't figure out how to schedule their appointment online, or B, they just can't drive that far or don't have someone else to drive them that far. So
yeah, that's great that you can provide those services and those resources for people that are so far away from, the next pharmacy down the road. So I think that's awesome. I think what you shared is really helpful for people that are considering URI.
Great.
Was there anything, I know you're busy or at work, was there anything else that you wanted to share that you didn't talk about at all?
I don't think so. I would just say if anyone's thinking they want to do a certain, come to URI to do pharmacy, that they should definitely job shadow or get in and volunteer somewhere and really experience what you think you want to do, because it may still be pharmacy, but it may look a lot different than you think. So just get out there and do all of those experiences where you get into talking to an actual pharmacist or shadowing an actual pharmacist, so you really know what you're getting yourself into.
Definitely, that's good advice. Well, thank you so much for doing this with me. I know that you probably have a busy schedule, but I really appreciate you fitting me in today.
No problem.
And it was nice meeting you.
You too.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye.